You remember the first ever titanium heart that was implanted into a man last year? Well, we got a lot of comments about stories like these, asking what happened next. Now, the answers are finally here, and some of them are bigger than we ever imagined. From a cancer vaccine that's now showing long-term protection for the first time, to the world's largest offshore wind turbine actually going live. Let's get into it. Hey, I'm your host Regis, and here's what happened to the best good news of 2024. For our first follow-up, let's talk about a man who has survived 100 days with a titanium heart. Last year, we talked about Bivacor, the world's first titanium heart. This ingenious device works by mechanically pumping blood around the body at regular intervals. The idea is for it to be a temporary replacement for people waiting for a real heart. Back in November, an Australian man with heart failure became one of the first to receive one. And now it can be revealed that this same person has just left the hospital after a successful transplant. The patient in question lived with a titanium heart for 100 days before undergoing heart surgery.
Yeah, so he had the device for 104 days before his transplant, so 3.5 months. And he was discharged from hospital along that way. And so that was, a world first for us. I mean, ultimately, that's what our goal is, to return these patients back to a normal quality of life. And he did return to a normal quality of life outside of the hospital. So, this gives us an incredible hope that in the future, we won't need to bring him back in for a transplant, that they can just stay out, keep the device, for the rest of their life.
Off of the back of this, the FDA has now approved further trials, and if they go well, you'll be the first to hear about them right here on Good News. Next up, we can report that the ozone layer is continuing to recover well. The ozone layer protects us from the harmful radiation of the sun. In the 1980s, scientists discovered with horror that this essential cosmic shield was being gradually destroyed by harmful chemicals called CFCs. At the time, they were being emitted by products like aerosols, fridges, and air conditioning units. This past November, we made a video about the ozone layer's incredible 40-year recovery. To make a long story short, starting in the late 1980s, CFCs were gradually phased out by a number of international agreements. In turn, this made the ozone hole shrink. And a recent study from MIT has just reconfirmed that everything's still going in the right direction. The researchers used a pioneering technique called fingerprinting. This works by simulating possible situations with a computer and then comparing them to the actual situation. First, they ran simulations where there was a decrease, increase, and no change to CFC levels or greenhouse gases. Then, by comparing them against each other, they were able to find a distinctive pattern that showed that CFCs were really declining in the ozone layer. Then, they looked for this pattern or fingerprint in ozone layer satellite observations from 2005 to today. The team discovered that the fingerprint got clearer and clearer as time went on. Now they can say with 95% certainty that a reduction in CFCs are to credit for the ozone layer's recovery. That's great news for all of us because I don't know about you, but to me, getting fried by radiation doesn't sound all that great. Okay, time for a vaccine update because the meningococcal shot has been found to be safe and effective for infants in sub-Saharan Africa. This time last year, we covered the news that the world's most effective meningitis vaccine had officially been introduced in Nigeria. The single-dose vaccine is better than its competitors because it protects against the 5 most common strains of meningitis found in sub-Saharan Africa. Since then, it's been deployed all across Africa's meningitis belt. Most recently, in April, 1 million of these life-preserving shots were shipped to northern Nigeria to combat an outbreak there. When it was first rolled out, it was generally considered safe for infants aged 1 or older by other research at the time, but there was no officially released data for 9-month-olds. That is, until recently, because it was announced that this amazing medical marvel is safe for young infants. This was the conclusion of trials that took place in 2022 in Mali. Over 1,000 9-month-old babies were randomly assigned either the new vaccine or another vaccine that only covered 4 out of the 5 major meningitis types. The results were finally published this March, and they've confirmed that the improved jab was safe and effective. In fact, they contribute greatly to the WHO's decision last year to approve the vaccine for youngsters aged 9 months and older. Since we're on the topic, let's move on to a developing mRNA cancer vaccine, because a clinical trial has shown that it could offer long-term protection in humans. Around the end of June 2024, we ran a story on experimental mRNA vaccine technology that could one day defeat cancer. The shot is injected with the patient's own cells, which teach the immune system to detect and target cancerous tumors. At such an early stage, researchers couldn't yet say what the exact effects might be. But the recently published results of a 2023 clinical trial have just given us an answer. The experiment involved 16 people diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. After receiving the vaccine, a strong immune response was detected in half of the participants. That's because they began producing T cells, which identify and neutralize cancer cells. The biggest takeaway from this was that some of the cancerous tumors of these patients didn't return for more than 3 years. These stunning findings have illustrated that cancer vaccines may have the potential to become long-term treatment. Before we continue, we just want to take a moment to thank you for watching our Good News channel. Please don't forget to subscribe so you can stay up to date with all the good stories from all around the world. Okay, let's move on to another story that's been generating more excitement because the world's biggest wind turbines have been created. In September, we talked about an enormous offshore wind turbine in China that had a world record-breaking 20 megawatt output. 9 months later, and this record has been well and truly surpassed. In April, a 21.5 megawatt version knocked it off the top spot. The Siemens-made turbine is located off the coast of Denmark and can provide power to 70,000 homes annually. They should enjoy it while it lasts though, because it won't. Chinese corporation Dongfang Electric has announced the completion of a dimension-bending 26 megawatt offshore turbine. When it's finally assembled and hooked up, it will replace Siemens to become number one. Staying in the realm of science, we can reveal that a special type of 3D printed skin designed to test cosmetics has just been created. Around this time last year, we explored the progress being made on 3D printed skin. This invention is pretty mind-blowing. When applied to an open wound, it binds together with damaged tissue to replace the skin. Since then, more experimentation with this emerging technology has taken place. And this leads us to our update. Researchers have created a type of 3D skin loaded with living cells that'll be used to assess the absorption and toxicity of cosmetics without the need for animal testing. It's a response to a European Union directive passed in 2010, which put major restrictions on animal testing. This variety of 3D skin is based on hydrogels created by 3D printers, which are injected with human skin cells. After 2 to 3 weeks, skin tissue begins to form. Researchers have just figured out the creation process, and the next goal is to actually use it to test cosmetic products. And if this goes well, you'll be the first to hear about it right here on Good News. From testing on animals to saving them, the population of the wild Iberian lynx has hit a record high. In a good news story from last July, we spoke about how the previously endangered Iberian lynx has bounced back from the brink of extinction in the Spanish region of Andalusia. By introducing a captive breeding program and restoring their habitats, their numbers shot up from around 1,600 to just over 2,000. And since then, this upward trajectory has only continued. According to the latest count, there are now a total of 2,400 of them roaming in the Andalusian wilderness. That's a 20% increase. Last but not least, a landmark treaty of biodiversity has just been passed by the European Union. In March 2023, after decades of negotiations, members of the United Nations came to a historic agreement. Under the terms of the BBNJ agreement, countries agreed in principle to protect and conserve marine biological diversity, even in areas beyond their borders. This was significant because 2/3 of the world's oceans actually lie outside of national borders. With that being said though, the treaty hasn't actually come into force yet. In order for this to happen, at least 60 countries need to formally pass it in a process known as ratification. At the end of May of this year, major progress was made in this area when the European Union ratified the BBNJ agreement. This prompted Cyprus, Finland, Hungary, Latvia, Portugal, and Slovenia to do the same thing. At the time of this recording, a total of 28 states have officially adopted it, so we're getting much closer to reaching that 60-country threshold. And that's it. We're all done for today. We made this video because here at Good News, we're always actually reading your comments to see how we can improve. So we hope you enjoyed it. As always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.